Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is another great week lined up with some, SEC attacks on crypto. No big deal. We're going to be going over that, looking at everything that's going on with the SEC and Robinhood. While Bitcoin's dumping right now, all the markets kind of getting a little bit of a rally over the weekend. But Monday morning, let the SEC make an announcement for a Wells notice on Robinhood. See how those markets pull back. That's what we're going to be taking a look at. And that and a whole lot more. Let's get into it, guys. Classes in session. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I am Army Piper, your host, and every Monday through Friday, me and my amazing co-host, bringing you guys all the things that you need to have knowledge, charts, news, markets, everything, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and bring them on. I'm a little flustered today. SEC, I'm telling you, there is a correlation of timing with macroeconomic events and SEC Wells notice. We're going to be taking a look at that. TradeFly is going to be laughing at me the whole time, and OC will have his tinfoil hat on by the time I'm done. Let's go. Guys, what's up? How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. But with that intro, I was expecting you to have the tinfoil hat on. I got to be honest, man. Like, you came in hard in the paint. So, yeah, a lot to talk about today. It's going to be interesting. And then we're going to have to see, like, where can we go on the charts? Like, how's this news going to affect us? So, pretty excited. Weekend was good. Me and Jenna had a pretty cool show last night. We're wearing sombrero hats and drinking a little tequila live.
Yeah, so, I watched it out there. It's good. It was good.
Yeah. You two got a lot of love there. So OC,
I did.
You got some call outs. Piper got some call outs there. And alumni, thanks for repping, dude. Like, I went in the chat. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how many of you usually are in Jenna streams, but it was pretty much dominated by alumni. I got to be honest. So that was pretty cool to see.
It was very cool. A lot of alumni in there representing. So we appreciate y'all. OC, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. This weekend, I just slept as there was no tomorrow. I mean, I went to bed like 8 p.m. and wake up like at 2 p.m. Oh my God, that was amazing. My bed swallowed me whole, and I'm back here with a 100% recharged battery. Not to mention that you should not be missing your best legendary aviation coffee, baby.
Yeah, I got my coffee cup. It says, "Let's do this." So,
ooh, I like that.
Yep,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's jump over to the news, guys. Taking a look here. Let's see what we got going on in the news today. Let me expand this out just a little bit, get that filled in, and there we go. Perfect. Guys, Fear and Greed coming in on greed side. This is updated about an hour ago. We're sitting at 71 right now. Of course, we're getting a little pullback in the market. We'll see how this looks tomorrow. Let's jump over to the crypto bubbles. Let's refresh and take a look here on the daily. Still a lot of green going on, but you can see this red in the hourly starting to pull back this morning. That was coming in hot right as Robinhood announced this morning that they got hit with an SEC Wells notice, meaning that they're not being sued yet, but it is an intent to investigate if they're going to be sued for selling securities. So shout out to Alex O Crypto in the house right now. Always great to see the gang. Yeah, but looking at here the daily, guys, let's scroll down here and take a look and see what's moved around on the market cap. We got a lot of green on the daily, like I said, but the red, we're starting to get this pulling in right now. Everything in that 1.2, 1.4% range, average 1%. We did get Avalanche moving up one spot here to number 11, Shiba Inu dropping down to number 12, and then ICP jumping up to number 19 as Litecoin slides one position there. Any big movers in here? Or is it just all a lot of ones? Pepe moved up down two positions, I should say, while Filecoin moved up two. But overall, guys, a lot of green on the daily, We are green on the weekly for a lot of stuff, but we're starting to get some pullbacks here on the market open time period. Also, at the same time, like I said, Robinhood releasing that notification that they got a Wells notice. Let's take a look at the liquidations here. And let's see how these are looking. In the past 24 hours, we had about $159 million in liquidations. Not too bad. A lot of those long liquidations because people were trying to do some longs with the little pullback there. I want to say this has probably all happened. Yeah, 16 million in the last hour. So that's a big difference there. The largest single liquidation coming in on OKX, it was Ethereum again for $4 million. Economic calendar. Now, guys, I want you guys to pay close attention here because this week, let's go over here and let's do this week first because I want you guys to see what's going on here. I have a thesis. My thesis is Gary Gensler hates crypto. If we take a look, the chicken hunting clown coin username wants to see. Got it. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll ever show that token, but if it ever does show up, we'll get it on for you, man. Taking a look here, guys, for this week, we had a couple of Feds speaking today. Okay. Pretty quiet week overall. Fed speaking tomorrow. And then we're going to get the 10-year note auction. That's kind of a big deal, but it's not a big red. Do you see that? We have initial jobless claims. This comes out every week. This is a weekly thing. We have the 30-year bond auction, and then we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment, that's the only big event this week, and it's not even one of the big ones. It's not PCE, it's not PPI, it's none of those, right? So here's the ordeal. If we take a look at what was really going on this week, the only real big things going on, guys, is bond auctions, where the Fed wants people to buy bonds. Are we buying bonds in our world? Probably not. We're buying things like Bitcoin dips and Pepe coins, right? So if we take a look at what the timing is on this letter coming out to Robinhood, it's more FUD again. Perfectly timed to push people to possibly go buy these auction notes. Not sure what the intent would be, but it definitely seems ill-timed because if we go back and we look at what we had going on back in March, guys, we're going to be showing you guys how the Coinbase week looked when they released the Coinbase stuff. Remember, we just got done with an FOMC rate hike or rate decision where we paused still, and then we started to come back up. Very similar to what we saw when we had Coinbase. So we're going to be taking a look at that here a little bit more. But I do want to point this out. Bitcoin bounce was predicted. Here's what this indicator says next. Guys, this is planned. This is all in the works of how Bitcoin should work according to this article. The recent bounce in Bitcoin's price from around 60,000 on May 1st to 65,000 by May 6th did not come as a surprise for those familiar with the BFI. The Bitcoin Fundamental Index provided by Swiss Block, the innovative tool predicted accurately, blah, 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 signaling a reversal. Let's get down here and look what it says. Our Swiss Block tool, the Bitcoin Fundamental Index, triggered at the right time and level. We saw a clear bounce at around 60K per Bitcoin on the 1st of May, and now 65K per Bitcoin on the 6th of May. If you take a look here, what it's showing you is this is their BFI tool, and when it comes down at this level is when it has typical bounce, and it has done it again 3 times now in that range where it has gotten its reversal according to the BFI index tool. So I guess that would be BF index tool. Now it is getting a bounce and to the upside. The on-chain data from the period shows a significant increase in transactions over $100,000 and a steady inflow and outflow on exchanges. So yes, the transactions of $100,000 or more, those are starting to increase the number that they're seeing. So just wanted to bring that into focus there. I'm still bullish on the markets, but we do have a possibility of that 52K sitting down there below us, and I'm sure TradeFly is going to talk about that. But yeah, guys, stick around. We're going to dig into compare that Coinbase March data to how it looks compared to the data that we just had. FOMC decision, SEC Wells notice letters to major exchanges. They're perfectly timed, and we're going to be taking a look at that. We'll discuss that too. But TradeFly, you got anything for the people? Shout out to the alumni in the chat right now. Anything like that?
Hey, yeah. Let's say what's up to everyone in the chat, huh? So we got Blackie Chan, we got username Mike Play, Alex O. You already got your little shout out. Who else we got in here? Kyle Fields, Warrior. He's a fellow aviator, by the way. Gotta show him a little bit of love. Harps in the chat. Eric Wallen, Average Crypto, Joe Ada Ace, Justin Eubanks, and Crypto Trades. What's up? How you doing? Hope everyone had a great weekend. And I do have the liquidation heat map up if you want to check that out. This will be a
Perfect.
quickie.
Let me do the Bitcoin. We'll look at that where we are right now, and then we'll jump right into that. Let's jump over there.
Sounds
I had to
good.
get that chart pulled up, so thanks for filling in for me there.
Yeah, no worries.
Taking a look here, guys, at Bitcoin. Currently, right now, you can see we did have a nice big wick up here last night. We hit 65,500 right there. Not a lot going. I don't know why I just did an arrow. Not a lot going on at that level. I mean, we do have previous resistance back here, but on the 4 hour, nothing major. Just wicked up to 65.5 and pulled right back down, retesting that dynamic reactor again. Guys, we've been sitting above this dynamic reactor, and it's been holding that support pretty much all weekend long here. After getting that perfect bounce out of the golden pocket, heading into the weekend, got above this, and now we are sitting on the dynamic reactor. I am going to be watching still closely for us to go back to the point of control. This point of control, guys, coming in right here at this high level, $67,000. I do still think that's possible, but if we get up into this range here of that point of control, watch for a rejection at that 786, because that would be a prime spot to either come back and test here, or if we are going to go down and visit those lower levels at 48 to 52,000, which you're getting ready to see here on the heat map, that would be the rejection point that I would be watching closely for. That's coming in at $67,300. Taking a look at the oscillators here, you can see that we are about at the bottom here of the cloud. And heading into that zero line, we are starting to get a breakdown of this consolidation of the RSI primed, giving us a nice big red Heikenhashi candle right there, indicating that we could get a little bit of pull down here. But as of right now, if this stuff just continues to cool off while we consolidate above that, that would be a very bullish accumulation period for more upside. And again, that 67,366, we'll call it 67,400, going to be that range of rejection that I would be watching for closely. Let's go ahead and jump over to the heat map and see what TradeFly's got on there.
Right on. Yeah, so this will be pretty quick, right? So we always want to look, where is the heat relative to where the price action is? And you can see right now it's starting to kind of go down to the downside. And if you're kind of looking back left on the chart, you see a little bit of what could be support here, really on a smaller time frame, but it's kind of broken that, right? So we had that little bit of a move down. I could really see it coming down and clearing out some of this liquidity down here in the area of about 62.8. So just want to go hop on the chart real quick and see what is around 62.8. And yeah, so that wouldn't be too much of a pullback. And to be honest, I could really see us testing this value area low, and that's at about 62.3. So that would clear out the liquidity as well. So that's kind of how you tie it all in. But you know, you do have the dynamic reactor here. It is trying to act as support right now. So we'll see if that holds up. But again, don't be surprised if you get down to this value area low, just to clear out the liquidity. And then hopefully you'll find some support in that area, and some of this Robinhood stuff will blow over. So just a quick look.
Nice. Appreciate it. OC, what you looking at? What you see there, brother, on the Bitcoin? Let's take a look at that.
Oh yeah, first things first. We need to settle some dots in here. I mean, something that I need to send you guys. All right, so taking financial advice with a guy with a beanie and also with a tinfoil hat. All right, so take a look at Bitcoin. Seems like it's just moving. I mean, the SEC has been watching the show. They're just doing everything they can for the Bitcoin price to follow up on what we've been talking about. So we have this pretty arranging here, and as you can see, we have this recuperation. Remember that I've been talking about, I mean, for every freaking day almost at the Wyckoff chart, right? It's just about to confirm. What am I looking for? Confirmation. They pull back to this area or some of a big support. I mean, don't get me wrong, this also could be a big support. And then if we bounce from all of those from any of those two areas and we go further up from that inside the range, baby, we are confirming the Wyckoff spring, and the next target will be all the way at the top at 70K 800, or somewhere around Yeah, somewhere around 70, 71K. So strap on. I mean, we're not out of the blue. Nonetheless, we're above the zero line, and we're also looking for that FOR. So as long as we don't cross this little line in here, we are safe and we are good to go for the next rally. So look, things looking pretty solid right now, and I do agree with you that they are kind of like pairing things up. But yeah, other than that, that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin.
Sweet. Let's go ahead and let's jump in. I'm going to knock out my conspiracy theory stuff real fast. And then we're going to get into the a news article that relates to it. And then we'll check out some alt TA guys. Let us know in the chat what you guys would like to see for your alts today. And don't forget, today, right after the show, sometime right after the show today, Crux will be pushing out the members newsletter. We've got a little setup in there for stacks. So you're going to want to check that out for a trade setup. Let's jump over into the news here. And let's take a look at this so I can break this down for you. So let's go back couple months ago, March, we were doing great. Crypto was making good money. We were pumping. We had on Wednesday, March 20th, we had the FOMC interest rate decision. It came out, was static. We had a little volatility in that window, and all of a sudden, we start moving up. We started making some money, right? 2 days later, guys, this is on Wednesday, March 20th. On Friday, that is when the SEC hits Coinbase with a Wells notice. They hit Coinbase with it and said, we are thinking about suing you for selling securities. 2 days after. We just had on May 1st. Now, let's go back here to the previous month here. Let's go to previous week. There we go. Jump back here. We had on May 1st, Wednesday, May 1st, there's the Fed interest rate decision. 2 days later on Friday, what happens? We have the SEC hitting Robinhood with the Wells notice. 2 days right after, started to pump back up. Market shook out. It was done, and crypto started to move up again. And then they get hit perfectly timed 2 days after the FOMC reaction to rates. Right? I'm not one to get stuck on conspiracy theories. But I am trained to see and identify patterns and trends. This is what I did for 20 years in the Army, trend and pattern analysis. We definitely have a trend going on there where the SEC seems to be going, let's see if this shakes out things. Okay, it didn't. Crypto's starting to pump. Okay, well, this is going to, let's get the little stop. Let's put the little brakes on that. We're not going to actually do a lawsuit. We're just going to give them the intent to. Here's a Wells letter notice. If you guys don't know, that letter says, we're not suing you, but you may have violated some things that allow us to sue you, and we're thinking about it. So, is it a major, FUD conspiracy? Absolutely, it could be. Could just be ill-timed, and it just coincidentally falls 2 days after FOMC every time after crypto starts to move. So, TradeFly, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let's discuss this. Why would the SEC be just so perfectly timing hitting these major exchanges in the U.S. with Wells notices right after FOMC, right before we have big things like, I don't know, the bond auctions coming on this week that are pretty important for the regional banks, because if they fail, then, the economy's in trouble. What are your thoughts? Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, without being like super tied into it, I mean, the point that you brought up earlier about it, trying to suppress the price, because of the banks. I mean, that could totally be a reasonable thought process there. And a lot of it could be timing too, because they work in cycles, right? So they have set blocks, set windows that they need to get things done to prepare for specific events that are already on the calendar. And then when they have those opening timeframes, then they shift their focus to be like, okay, this is our time frame that, hey, like we've been looking at Robinhood or Coinbase or whatever. Let's go ahead and take care of that while we have this open window of opportunity. I mean, that you see that a lot with big business or the government as well. So, I mean, it's hard to tell, be on the outside looking in, but also too, I mean, it could be a very strategic move to suppress the price. I mean, it's all within play, baby. It's all within play.
It is, absolutely. OC, your thoughts on this? Ill-timed or is this... What is this? What the hell is going on here, OC?
All right. So I mean, it's impossible to know, right? I mean, unless we do have an inside guide, there is impossible. It is an impossible thing to know for sure. But I do believe that you have a big point. Also, I want to add to that point on huge investments, right? I mean, we know for a fact, Nancy Pelosi, that I had something stuck in my throat, right? That for some reason, those guys in the government, they make huge investments, right? And right now, since Bitcoin has been opened up to the not only the crypto market, but the overall global market with the ETF, I believe it is getting a little bit more relevant. We also have been seeing this in the past, as you mentioned, with XRP and many other entities where they try to cap the Bitcoin price to jumping in. My speculation is that they're trying, because we've been seeing banks not performing good at all. So my speculation is that making a little bit fearful on people, and at the same time letting their friends from the banks make that shift between the traditional investments to Bitcoin, so they can position themselves. And then when they have that equilibrium, they will just let the price run whatever it needs to. But I mean, I always think that there is a higher personal interest behind all of these movements. But yeah, I mean, they're just perfectly timed. It's just perfectly timed.
It is. And one thing I do want to point out is that the Gary Gensler is really tied in with a lot of the major institutions too, and when you see these exchanges making all this money off of selling Bitcoin, and you have an ETF that is starting to have more outflows coming, it's not that hard to have a little conversation about that the whole thing about securities. Can you help us out and FUD those guys? Not saying that's what's happening. I don't know. I'm speculating here, but I'm speculating about a speculative asset from a speculative agency. So let's talk about this though. Guys, there is a cause and effect to everything that happens. I always talk about precedents when I talk about, well, what do you think about this? Well, that's probably not that bad. However, the precedents that a lawsuit of ABC would lead to is a bad thing. So for example, like say Tradefly says, I want to start doing a Monday show on, in the evenings, whatever. And then that sets a precedence that there's a Monday show every week now. So on and so forth. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a cause and effect to stuff. If we jump over here and take a look at these Wells notices that are coming out from the SEC, we've got a little cause and effect that is starting to happen here also. Coinbase customers claim illegal security sales and file a class action lawsuit against Coinbase. This is a new article that just came out. 6 Coinbase customers have initiated a class action lawsuit against the cryptocurrency exchange, accusing it of operating illegally by selling what they claim are unregistered securities. Where would they have gotten that idea from? No clue. No idea. Maybe, I don't know, an SEC Wells notice. What happened? Filed in the Northern District of California, the complaint names Coinbase Global, along with several subsidiaries, the CEO Brian Armstrong as defendants. Benzinga has reached out to Coinbase for a comment. The plaintiffs identified as these individuals here, I'm not even going to say their names, allege that Coinbase has violated both state and federal security laws by not registering the digital assets it offers on its platform. They argue that Coinbase has acknowledged in its user agreement that it acts as a securities broker and that assets it deals with are investment securities. Furthermore, the lawsuit accuses Coinbase of misleading its customers regarding the regulatory compliance of its operations, emphasizing that while Coinbase claims to be regulated, it lacks the necessary broker-dealer registrations. The action seeks rescission, statutory damages, and injunctive relief, urging a thorough judicial review of Coinbase's business practices. I know for a fact that Coinbase has tried to register every single move and action that they've done. They've even contacted the SEC and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this. And the SEC has said, don't do that. You don't have blah, blah, blah. And then they said, oh, okay, well then we'll hold off then. They have tried to work with the SEC and they have failed to get any regulatory guidance from the SEC at every turn. And now we're seeing people suing Coinbase based on information that came out from the SEC to Coinbase. Nothing but a money grab from a bunch of greedy people that are idiots in California. But I digress. They're in Northern California. You're safe, Tradefly.
Okay.
But is this a situation where SEC is causing damage on top of damage because they are now setting precedents and opening doors for things like this to happen? If this is sets precedents and they win this case, what happens with people all across the country that decide to sue every single exchange that is in existence right now that's gotten a Wells notice? The decentralized Uniswap, and they just had an incident with the SEC. You got Robinhood, you got Coinbase. Is this setting a bad precedence for people to do a money grab against companies based on the SEC's manipulation or regulation enforcement? What do you think on that?
So there's two things. One, yes, this sounds completely redonkulous, but hear me out on this. What if Coinbase wins? You can't be charged with the same thing twice.
True.
Who do you want to fight? You want to fight 6 schmucks in Northern California or the
But
SEC?
that wouldn't be a criminal case. You got to remember, a regulatory would be a criminal case, where this would be a civil case. So they could still go after them. They would just lose a lot of their power and strength that they
once that judgment's been made, it will be referenced.
Yep, it will be, absolutely.
So I'm just saying, thank you, actually, you little schmucks in Northern California, because if you get your ass handed to you, thank you very much. I will actually appreciate you for what you're doing right now. That's my tinfoil hat. OC, here it is.
OC, what you think about this? Is this setting a bad precedent? How does this play out in the long run?
All right, I do have two scenarios. As remember, I always say it, a smart trader is a prepared trader, right? It same goes for every aspect of my life, even my opinion. So I'm going to hand out two serious scenarios. The one that I'm very, very likely to think that's going to happen, that it's aligned with Tradefly's, that they're going to have their ass handed to themselves, and then we're going to have a stronger institutions on the crypto space. But the other way around, it is, what if they lose? If they lose and we see them crumbling down, well, then we might have to restructure or go back to baseline and crypto structure, which, if we can survive that apocalypse, I mean, we'll be more than strong to come back and kick fiat ass like no other day, right? And then what happens if it doesn't crumble? But instead, we just shake out bad apples from the tree, right? I mean, that's also another way to go. Just wait for the outcome and expect the unexpected, right? I mean, it can go two ways, but I believe the most realistic case scenario is that they have enough purchasing power to get enough lawyers to get, out of that issue. If they already have make it through the SEC, I don't see why they wouldn't make it against, 6 people or something like that. Well, it wouldn't be that hard. Having the rule out already being, or the court having already failed to their advantage, isn't it? So
yes.
Other than that, I believe that, that's a more probable case.
Yeah, shout out to Traveling Man in the chat right now. He's got some really good economic points. He's been doing his homework. I'm proud of you, Traveling Man. Talking about China, that they're going to need to infuse paper into their economy. Locals are buying gold beads, meaning that they don't trust the yuan, and that is a true statement. Matter of fact, I got an article. I just happen to have an article about China right now. China, if you guys don't know, their property there in the country has been on a drastic decline. Something interesting just happened with property there. Bitcoin not banned in China, officially recognized as property. This is not by the government yet, but Chinese scholars are claiming that Bitcoin is surprisingly not banned in China. The Bitcoin market might soon be getting a new wave of attention as scholars in the country have acknowledged the property attributes of the coin. Bitcoin in China has been known to be banned since at least June 2021. However, the question of whether its ban is complete one remains on the horizon. While trading exchanges and influencers suffered crackdowns in the country on the country's order, the trend may soon be drastically changing. That's because these Chinese scholars believe Bitcoin and digital currencies have a relatively small space for legal order in the country against the general notion held by the public. They claim that Bitcoin is not completely banned and that it is not contraband. This new position changes the paradigm on how Bitcoin is perceived inside and outside of China. So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was pretty interesting that these scholars now in China are starting to understand that blockchain is a digital property, just like you can have intellectual property. You guys can actually own an idea in your head that's not even able to be referenced anywhere. But if you can prove that you had the idea, it's intellectual property. Chinese scholars are now starting to understand that this little block of digital data, this ones and zeros on a blockchain, is property also. How does this change the sentiment for a lot of countries, probably not the U.S., because we have idiots in the government, when it comes to looking at Bitcoin and what it is? Is it a currency? Is it an asset? Or is it property? That would be my first question. We'll go with OC on this one first.
And we need to get Crocs crypto here ASAP. Come on, Crocs. This is your topic. This is all yours, brother. Or is it that China just realized that they just let go the 51% possible attack? I don't know. Food for thought. Because we're in that China with their hydroelectric and wind turbines going on, and with the cheap electricity, they had it going, and they could actually move the markets. Remember that early in the mornings that we went back in the day, like, hey, China, come on, do not drop the price of Bitcoin already. What's the matter with you, right? And that always started with the floods on the raining season, with all of the hydroelectric plants just getting to function. So is it now that crypto is getting relevance with the ETF getting approved, that they are just bringing it back because the migration from miners happened a couple of years ago? It was 5 years ago, 6 years ago? I don't quite remember when they actually banned Bitcoin, and now they're maybe trying to bring it back. Just remember that anybody that thinks against or outside their regime, they can get their money worth zero, or they can get banned from schools or buying meat or buying whatever with the digital yuan that they got going on. All right, so just food for thought. And yeah, turning it back to you guys.
Tradefly, thoughts on this? Is this property? Is this the right move? Do we look at Bitcoin as property?
I mean, to me, we're going to hear this discussion go for a really long time until the U.S. really figures out what it is they're going to classify it as. The thing that kind of gets me excited is that finally somebody is saying this is what we think it is. And this will set some sort of precedence to go into those conversations with the US when the US finally says what exactly they're going to say this is. So we've been asking for this for a long time. And I just think that, it could help that conversation. But I don't know. I mean, I look at Bitcoin, for me personally, it is a store of value, and it does everything I equate to Bitcoin. I think price. I think what is this thing worth that I'm holding? So it always equates to something financial for me. But again, my game. I like to trade. I'm in it to make the money. So I just would like to see clarity and regulation, and then we can just move on and do what we want to do.
Now, one thing I don't like, and it's because I know what the potential is of our elected officials. This creates the situation. Let's say the United States says Bitcoin is property. Now, instead of waiting for you to sell it to tax you on capital gains, they can tax you annually on property taxes. Is that something that you think would be played out by our government here in America?
It could.
I absolutely could see it. Your assessed value of your property, aka Bitcoin, is $125,000. So here's your $9,000 a year property tax on it. I don't put anything past our government when it comes to.
Y'all better join the military and be a disabled vet and move to Texas.
There you go. There you go. Move to Texas. Now, I do want to one more last follow up here, and then we'll get into these alts because we're at the top of the hour here. Guys, check this out. China's residential transactions. Okay, we're talking about their property, that it's a major piece. So if you go down here and look at this comment, real estate makes up around 70% of the gross household wealth in China. Every 5% decline in home prices will wipe out 19 trillion yuan. And if we take a look at this chart here, this is the residential buildings floor space sold in China. And you can see here, starting back in January 2021, it has been on a rapid decline. China's real estate slide continues to accelerate at a faster pace than 2008. Residential real estate volumes dropped to approximately 75 million per month. Per square meters in late 2023. This is a massive 46% decline in volume in just 2 years. In 2023, there were a total of 1.8 billion square meters of residential real estate sold in China. Last year, just 1.1 billion were sold, the lowest level since the 2008 financial crisis. China's in trouble, and it would be interesting to see the timing on this. Hey, Bitcoin is property. If that does open that door to them going, hey, look, we found a way to not have to roll back on what we said so we don't look foolish. We have just changed what we think Bitcoin is, and now we can start to flush some money back into the country. For China, at least, it could be a way that money starts to flow in, just twisting that definition of Bitcoin so they don't have to roll back on their regulation that they previously have said. I don't know if you guys have anything on that. If not, we'll go ahead and jump into the charts. We'll kick it off with TradeFly. You got anything on that?
Nah, man, I was BSing in the chat saying what's up to everyone. So
OC, you got anything on that?
Run with that one.
Absolutely. Just a really quick point. Do not lose sight, guys, on China has been accumulating currency from other countries. Also has the BRIC alliance, right? So, I mean, this could be a backdoor to also kick back in with their financial problems, right? So we might be seeing this BRIC community just also adopting many of the things that China is right now maybe trying to put up. So be prepared for that part of the world also going into the regulatory fight of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Just saying.
All right, awesome. TradeFly, what you got for charts? Let's give these people some TA, man.
Right on. So looking at Cardano, it's not one that I do too often. So coming back here, looking at this area of support, looks like I've had that up there for quite some time. Kind of similar, right? Like if you look at the left side of this chart and then you go over to Bitcoin, this part of it looks very similar, right? You had this range, a nice little move up, and you had a small little stop here. But when the price actually pulled back, look where it found support, just with that small little stop. And that's very similar to what you saw with Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin pressed up, had a small little stop, cooled off, and then continued its push. However, the range is a little bit different. So Cardano looks like it broke out of its range to the top side. It wanted to make a bigger move. But ultimately it pulled back a lot harder. So where are we at time now? We're finding support, kind of same deal as Bitcoin, but again, it's showing a little bit more weakness now, right? We haven't made the same move up that Bitcoin has. It's losing a little steam here, and it's on the bottom side of the moving averages, the bottom side of the dynamic reactor, which looks different on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on the top side of the dynamic reactor right now. So keep that in mind. You're losing I mean, like if I was looking at this, right, if I just zoomed in, then right here would have been an interesting play for me, only based on maintaining this area of support, multiple tests, and seeing the divergence right here. But now, like you can see, we're kind of getting indications of saying, hey, this might be not working out for us. We might see some resistance here where this dynamic reactor is. So this one's kind of tough. Looking at consolidation score, it looks like it wants to say. However, prophecy is saying it does want to move up. Market pumps is what it's saying, and it has been pretty accurate. And you can see a trend going kind of up and right if you're just looking at it. Kind of more of a zoomed out look on the oscillator here. So this one's tough. I probably wouldn't mess with this right here. I'd probably wait for it to retest to see a continuation of this pattern going up and right. If I did get a retest of this area, that's probably where I would be a little bit more comfortable looking at a trade, and that's at 43 cents. So it's probably where, if it was something I was looking at, I would set an alert on it. But honestly, I'm not trading Cardano right now. If you do decide to add your bags, probably not a terrible thing. Just make sure you set a stop loss. I would be underneath of the wick though. You don't want to be too close and get stopped out. So, find the wick. hey, that was the lowest, and then you just kind of go underneath of that. And then whatever your ratio is, if you want to use 2 to 1, 3 to 1, that's on you. If we do break through this, you have the 200 day on the top side. All right. So dynamic reactor, 200, 200 SMA on the 4 hour. You have to break through that. And so that is going to kind of line up with a little bit of resistance you're seeing right here. So you might see a little bit of rejection in this area at about 50 cents and a psychological number. But I think once it gets on the top side of 50 cents, people will get a little bit more excited and push it up to 56. I'd say relatively easy if it does make that move up. But I would say my bias right now, just looking at it and understanding that, you got a little bit of FUD in the market, sentiments kind of meh. I would say it's more likely to retest this area before we see that movement back to the upside. So 43 cents, kind of your low side, 56 is your high.
Awesome. Shout out to Crypto Billy out there. He celebrating his 3 months as an alumni member here in the chat. He said, what did he say? He said, love you guys. Hashtag Givers Gain. If you guys don't know, Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Billy Goat Tells dropping great content on X Spaces. So you guys need to go check them out. Of course, we'll be dropping that link tomorrow here on the show. Let's jump over to my chart and then we'll get into OC. I do have a little Ethereum look here. So I talk all the time about 2 levels. Well, 3 levels really, platinum pocket, but I love to talk about the golden pocket and the 50%. The 50% Fibonacci being a key level of bullishness or bearishness. We do have a little situation here where we lost the golden pocket. This is back here on 12 April. And once we came down and lost that, I said, guys, we're going to probably head to the 50%. If we get a bounce there, then we should head back up. We actually did a double bottom test here before it made it up there, but this weekend we did get a nice little rejection there. Would be the 28th, it'd be last weekend. Got a nice little rejection there on that 50. And then here this weekend on May 1st, we actually got a bounce off of that 50 again. We were not able to get above the dynamic reactor, which makes me believe that this is going to come back and do another test here. This will be 4 knocks here on the 50%, guys. The Sheldon Cooper effect will be in play. The more times we knock and the more often he knocks, the more likely Penny opens the door for him. I'm going to be watching for Ethereum to come back here to this 28.73 range. If we get another bounce there, that will be a prime entry with a really clean stop loss. Watching for that, just offset it just a little bit, not financial advice, but there's probably going to be a liquidity hunt right below this wick. And if we get that, if you're set just below that, you'll be set for a good one. Let's go ahead and check out what that would be like. Set along there. Let's put it on this line, set that down to there for that stop loss, and a move back up to that dynamic reactor would be a 2.6 to 1, back up to the golden pocket, guys, would be a 4.3 to 1 risk to reward. Would be a good clean setup, and that is how you do risk management on an Ethereum trade. Taking a look at what we're seeing on the oscillators here, we are starting to get another wave down here. That's going to be right there in line with that 0 line by the time that we got down here. And then also we are getting a big red candle on RSI Prime indicating downside also. So there you go. That's the trade setup for Ethereum. That's what I got there. I am looking at a little bit of a possible pullback. Again, that's going to be 28.75, we'll call it, for that entry mark. Not financial advice. OC, what you got for us, man?
Oh, I have Velo. We've been looking at Velo, and you know also, guys, what has been above the dynamic reactor. The likes on this video, please give it a like. We are 70 watchers, and we have somewhere around 30 likes, so please give it a like. That helps us out throughout the algorithm and also help us out to keep bringing you an amazing information in alpha all day long. So, guys, let's take a look at what we've been looking at Velo. So we were also expecting a possible break through the ribbon or back above the 0 lining here. What happened? We had 2 different possibilities of entry, one right at this area and the other one right here on my alert. And what we had those areas right here, because we have a big support with a little bit of volume. Also, you can see that we had a beautiful liquidity area right down here, giving us that extra support that we needed. And then the next area of big support was all the way down here below the dynamic reactor. So beautiful bounce right at this area, going back up. Let me just clean this up. And we are still on the go for the top of this range. So just stay clear on this area here because we are moving back up. I am waiting for the flip of the ribbon like we had here, like we had here, like we had here, and then for the next resistance. What is that resistance? You can see that is right around 0.022 for a possible reversal scenario. So everything looking good. I mean, I do expect that Bitcoin keeps moving slightly down here. I don't see Bitcoin dumping that hard. But if we do, remember that we are going to be at the top of the channel. Beautiful possible entry. This is not financial advice, all right? And if the conditions are great and up to date, a possible short entry will be nice up here all the way down to my next support. That's what I have from Villo. Let's try it back to you guys.
Awesome. TradeFly, what you got for us, brother?
Yeah, man, got AVAX up right now. So pretty similar to Cardano in terms of coming down to the golden pocket, finding that little bounce, and then making a move to the upside. But look at the difference here, right? We've gotten on top of the point of control, on top of the 0.5, on top of the dynamic reactor. So you see how there's a little bit of a difference. It's very minute, but it's something to take note of, right? Because AVAX is looking to make a push to the upside, but it did get rejected. And this is a clear area of resistance. You could see it got rejected here. It was support. And then you had that breakdown. You know, I always look for that with a retest too. So that's kind of confirmation to me that this is a significant area of price action. And on top of that, it has the 200 SMA. So it's all in one little area. Got a lot of confluence lining up. Seeing that rejection, not too surprising, but it hasn't really fallen under the point of control or the 0.5 or the dynamic reactor. It's on the top side. So I think if the market wants to make a move to the upside today, you're going to see a nice little move up for AVAX. I think it's pretty clear that it wants to get up here to about 43.70. So that's what I would be looking for AVAX. If it does pull back, and this is just going to be based on the rest of the market, you have this support here, but it'll probably lose it and then retest this area at the value area low, or even down to the golden pocket here. But I would say that in terms of looking at the chart, AVAX looks a little bit stronger than Cardano, and it looks like it wants to make a move. It's just really kind of banking on the rest of the market. So keep an eye on that. Look to see, what did I just get an alert on? Coin. I'll have to take a look at that. I'll do that in the background. So AVAX, again, looks a little stronger. Looks like it wants to make a move to the upside here, but we got to wait to see what the rest of the market does.
Sweet. Shout out to FD White in the chat, guys. If you guys haven't done so yet, you guys are getting any value out of this content, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and get notified every time we go live. We do have again, I see Crypto Billy talking about Stacks, guys. Stacks is in today's newsletter that's going to be coming out. There's a trade setup in there. So yeah, you guys should be checking that out. And then it's for hodlers or low leverage, just so you guys are tracking. So if you're looking for a good swing trade on Stacks, we got a setup in there today on that. Let's go ahead and jump over. We had a request for link. If somebody wants to pull up Chainlink, I'm going to go ahead and jump over and we're going to knock out H-bar. We got about 12 minutes. So OC, quick pick a asset. If you want to do link, let TradeFly know, and then TradeFly have one ready to go so we can run through those. Taking a look at H-bar here, guys. We did over the weekend. We got a little rejection over here after we did a fake out on Friday evening, and we came back in and look at this golden pocket. I want to bring this into focus here so you guys can see these are 4-hour candles. Look at all of this play on this 0.66. That is going to be at the 10.8 cent range there on H-bar. What we had after that is a breakout here, and now we are started to pull back. I would be looking for anything in this golden pocket to be another good entry point if you guys are looking at getting into H-bar. Good support in that range there. We do have a little bit of a pullback here, but this is looking to me like what OC calls a goose head. So that little goose head right there kind of give an indication that a bounce here in the golden pocket could be happening. We got a really small red candle here, which does tell us we are going to get a little bit of a pullback here. Like I said, I'm looking at like the 618 here at about 11.3 cents to about 10.5, somewhere in that range would be a good entry for H-bar there, looking at the 4-hour chart based on what we have for the golden pocket. Let's jump over to OC, see what you got there, man.
Absolutely, I have link bring it up here, and it's looking fantastic. Look, we need to be careful though. Why? Because of Bitcoin. But what is it looking fantastic? Because we had the previous bearish day versions, which already have annihilated for complete here, and we're going for a higher high on the oscillator. Also, we have just put in a strong buy here, and remember, we never enter on the signals; we enter on the pullbacks. Right? It's not about the breakout; it's about the retest, and then with the flip of the ribbon. All right, then off we got to keep continuing our move up. Just remember this, there is a bearish scenario in here. Let me just go back for a little bit and show you, despite we have a strong signal here, we haven't broken the dynamic reactor as I always want to see it. Look this, I usually want to see a big body candle going through the dynamic reactor, big body candle going through the dynamic reactor, big body candle going through the dynamic reactor. And right now it's a little bit shy. So we could be seeing a little bit of a downtrend movement here, or a possible bull flag for then making a burst to the upside. Just be patient here. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. And when we have flip of the ribbon to the upside, all right, flip of the ribbon to the upside. Let me just also make it here, all right? When we have flip of the ribbon to the upside, well, then that is our indication, not financial advice. Very quick, because you guys notice it, ETC looking good. Also the same scenario, right? Just be careful with ETC. Just touching base with that one. And then turning it back to you guys.
All right, Trade Fly, what you got for us, bro?
Yeah, man, just still kind of working some TA here in the background on a chain link. But yeah, you could see this channel. It did break out of that, and it had a nasty fall down here. It came all the way down to the golden pocket though, and it got a nice wick off of that. You got some divergence here once you came down to this area to retest this area of support, which isn't really the golden pocket, but it is an area obviously that was holding up support. And you just come back left on the chart to see why that is. But that's really the play there, because really what you have lining up now is way too much confluence. So you got the 0.382 at about $15.92. But you have the 200 SMA, the 50, the dynamic reactor, all on the top side in an area that looks like it's going to be resistance, right? You come back left on the chart. I mean, it could be a little bit of a range here, but you can see it was support, it was resistance. I don't like that. I don't like going long into an area of resistance. I'd rather see it break through. I'd rather see something a little bit more once it gets on the top side, to come back down, retest it, and get confirmation that what was resistance is now support again, right? That's what we want to see before we see continuation up and right. So not an area to go long right now for Chainlink. If you're in a short intraday, scalping type trade, that would probably be an exit for me at about 1592. And then where we could have gone long was down here. So now it's like we wait, we see what we get as a reaction to this area right here. For me, I've talked about it before. I like to do the very short trades that when I see we're going to go up to a significant area of price action, which this would classify that for me, the 0.382. I would look for just a little bit of a rejection, maybe 1, 2, 3%, just depends on what you're feeling groggy with. Do a little risk management, do a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and then use a little bit of leverage. So not a big play. Obviously not financial advice. It's just something that I like to do personally. It's about the only scalping type trade that I like to make is when I get up and I see all of this confluence in one area. So again, like the rest of the market, you're kind of, I won't say the rest of the market, but like the other alts that I've looked at so far, you're kind of in the middle. It's not an area that I like to play with personally. I'm looking at support and resistance. So I would keep this marked though. This area right here is obviously acting as though it is support. We'll go ahead and change that, make it a green line, highlight it. So that's kind of your low side there at about 13 even. And then I'd say high side, probably the near term is about 1592. So I would just let this one marinate. Let's zoom out just a little bit, just see kind of the structure here. You're still okay. In terms of big picture, if you're in Chainlink, you're back here somewhere, no big deal. You came down the golden pocket. That's pretty normal. You got the test there, and it can definitely continue the upside. Where I get scared is when we start breaking this, right? Especially look again, this little pattern played out is like the whole crypto market seemed to like move together at the same time. If it breaks this area, then we start getting a little bit more concerned, especially this right here where you have support. So $10 and about 50 cents or so. If you start getting under that, that's where I'm like, you might want to start pumping the brakes on chain link. But right now, we're okay. Short term is not super bullish. It's actually a little bearish on the shorter term. Looks like it wants to make a try to kind of flip this, right? So if you looked at this, if you had a fixed range on, I guarantee you would see probably a point of control somewhere in here, and this is probably pretty close to the value area high and low, right about here as well. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at on Chainlink. I think looking at it, bias is it wants to push up, but it's probably going to push up and get a rejection here. Oh, and shout out to Dave Digital. Looks like he signed up for a couple months as a member. Find your people. So my man Dave Digital, thank you very much.
Much love, Dave. Jumping over, I got one more chart to show, guys. We talked about last week Clean Spark and its rejection on the platinum pocket. If we take a look here, what we had here. We had this rejection here, and this is going to be last Wednesday. I said, guys, watch for us. If we don't hold this level here on the 786, we're likely going to be heading down to the golden pocket. I would look for an entry down there. That is exactly where we got support, and you guys can see here, Wednesday, we got down there about 10 in the morning on the 1st of May. Then we started to come back up after the FOMC data. Today's candle is absolutely pumping right through the dynamic reactor and getting the upside move. If we take a look at the oscillators, guys, we still have plenty of room to go on these oscillators for Clean Spark today. So if you got in on that call, we were talking about it here at the rejection. This was the entry level down here in the golden pocket. If you got in on that, congratulations to you guys. Shout out to Eric Wallen. Him and I, we love our Clean Spark stock. So it's done well for me. Let's jump back over here. Let's wrap this out. TradeFly OC, you guys got anything for the people? Anything to talk about? What's going on today? Are you going to be on any shows this week? Because we were not tracking TradeFly that you were going to be on with Jenna X yesterday for Cinco de Mayo, drinking some bougie tequila with your sombrero on. So,
yeah, man. I was in rare form yesterday. I got to a point like towards the end of the show, like I was like mixing words up and stuff. It was a good time though. It was good. Really enjoyed it. So hopefully we'll get Jen on here sometime soon. We'll definitely collab again. That was a lot of fun. In terms of shows, I think Trading Wars is today. Is that correct, OC? I think you're going to be on that. I might do a little cameo, say what's up, but I will not be officially trading. And then Thursday, if I remember correctly, I will be back. I am now 1v1 for life. This is the way I will have to work through the brackets. I will be fighting for my life every Thursday. So maybe this could be fun. Like this could be a thing. I mean, that's a lot of solo cam time. So it might be a good thing. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting.
I like it. Let's see what you got for the people, man.
Oh, well, guys, I might also be right there with you after today, because today yesterday night, I got an urgent email that the Mexican SEC was requesting me to their headquarters. They were saying, hey, why are you spending so much on crypto? And I was, not your business. And then they said, well, not my business, come visit me. So I need to be there real? At the time of the show. I'll be, yeah,
I'm like
that's
waiting
real.
for you to say, click the like button and I won't have to go to the FCC. Like what?
Hopefully. Oh my God. No, I do have. I mean, they're real terrorists, to be sure. And yes, I'm calling you terrorists, Mexican SEC for sure. All right. Just having said that, guys, click that like button so I might not get ruined by those guys. If you click that like button, you'll see me on the next show here. If you see me alive and kicking, well, then you know that I came out clean. But yeah, most likely I will. Well, it's nothing that serious, but yeah.
I just want to point out that of all the people that are, on YouTube doing content creation that we said are going to end up having the SEC go after them, never thought it would be the OC guy from Piper Academy. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, well.
It was going to be Ben Armstrong. It was going to be MM Crypto, one of these big, scam coin pushers, right? No, it's OC guy. He's got the Mexican SEC coming after him. So, hey, that is evidence that we are putting our money where our mouth is, and we're buying the stuff that we talk about, guys. So there you go. OC, wow. Good luck. If you need me to put together a highly specialized elite team of specialists who come down to Mexico and break you out of the jail, I know some people.
Thank you so much, and thanks for that high five. Trade fly. There we go. Guys,
right.
thank you so much for joining. Click that like button so we can survive this SEC thing. And other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Shout out to Jeff M. I love your reference there. Why won't the SEC let OCB? That's perfect. They're trying to shut them down for buying BTC. Guys, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you all for coming here to the Piper Academy every day. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news of charts in the markets and everything you need to know to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit, and profit means the SEC from the government comes after you. We'll catch you guys next time. Trade safe. Use the stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!